If you have a weak stomach and are sensitive to the disturbing facts of life, then this is not the video for you. Consider yourself warned. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome, cadavers. This is the hard truth. As difficult as it is to discuss this first story, it only makes sense that the tragic events would be the first featured on the show. As every account we cover never dates back more than a year, this disturbing and unspeakable act unfolded just a few weeks ago on December 4th in the Sunshine State of California. 34-year-old Maurice Taylor Sr. was said to be a reliable and mellow person. Maurice was married and had a large family consisting of 3 boys and 1 girl. To many, the family was your average one with no history of violence. However, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, things would take a gruesome turn. He worked as a personal trainer at the Physical Therapy and Fitness Center in Santa Monica, California. An attorney and client of Maurice would later say he sensed something was wrong when Maurice failed to send out the usual Zoom link. These Zoom appointments were scheduled for those who still wished to attend their fitness sessions. This was rather unusual of Maurice, so after several days and many missed appointments, clients of his reached out to authorities, asking them to perform a welfare check on him and his family, in fear of something like a gas leak. It was Friday, December 4th, when LA County Fire Department would arrive on scene to make the harrowing discovery. Maurice Taylor Sr. had fatally stabbed his 12-year-old son, Maurice Taylor Jr., and his 13-year-old daughter, Malika Taylor, by means of decapitation. And as if the facts weren't horrible enough, Maurice's younger sons, both 8 and 9, were made to look upon their deceased siblings after the fact. Though his younger children were not harmed, they were held captive in the rooms for 5 days until law enforcement would later intervene. If you are wondering what happened to Maurice's wife, she was found alive inside the residence. She was questioned, but officials do not believe she had any involvement in the murders at this time. At this moment, it is a mystery as to why Maurice Taylor Sr. would take the lives of his 2 eldest children. Maurice was arrested and is held with a $4.2 million bond and faces 57 years minimum. Built in 1918, Fort Bragg, located in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, is one of, if not the largest, military installations in the world. Fort Bragg is so large, in fact, that it covers over 251 square miles and has held over 57,000 personnel at one time. Recently, one of the many soldiers stationed at Fort Bragg was 21-year-old Enrique Roman-Martinez. A paratrooper of the 82nd Airborne Division, Martinez was described by family members as a hippie due to his free spirit and laid-back persona. His family would go on to say that Martinez just wanted to live a good life, and that was the whole reason he joined the military. And perhaps that's what makes what happened to Martinez even sadder. It was back around the Memorial Day weekend when Martinez and a group of his fellow soldiers headed south of the Outer Banks to a campsite located on South Core Banks. If you are unfamiliar with the area, South Core Banks is one of the islands that make up Cape Lookout National Seashore. According to those who had accompanied Martinez, the 22nd of May was uneventful. The group, consisting of soldiers and friends, had set up camp alongside Martinez, and at the end of the night, those present had claimed to have witnessed Martinez go into his tent and fall asleep. Then comes the morning of May 23rd. Everyone awakes, but Martinez is nowhere to be found. He's just gone, leaving behind his cell phone and wallet. Enrique's fellow soldiers would spend the rest of that day searching for him. At first, Enrique's friends just believed he'd wandered off, but as the day progressed, it became clear that something bad had happened to the paratrooper. His friends did call 911, but oddly, it wasn't until after 7 p.m., almost a full 24 hours after the last time anyone had seen Martinez. Claiming to have spent most of the day looking for their missing friend, the soldiers stated that they had also kept an eye out for any park rangers to report the disappearance too. Those camping with Martinez did report they feared he had harmed himself. The search for Enrique began but would prove fruitless, that is, until the 29th of May, when a full 7 days later, only his head would wash ashore. Although there was no body, an autopsy was still performed, and due to the multiple chop injuries found, his death was quickly deemed a homicide. There aren't many theories, but family members seem to believe that the group Martinez had been out camping with know a little bit more than they're revealing. For example, the amount of time they had let pass before reporting Martinez missing does raise a few eyebrows. But perhaps incriminating of all is the claim that the group had searched for a park ranger. I say this because when the park ranger was questioned, he stated that he had actually spoken with the group of soldiers earlier on the 23rd, the day Martinez had gone missing. He had asked them to please move their cars away from the sand dunes. They complied and gave him no trouble, but they also said nothing about Martinez. This would have been the perfect time to report your missing friend, and they did not, contrary to what the group had previously told officials. Now, as guilty as those who had spent that evening with Martinez may seem, it is possible that they are just a red herring. After all, there is a twist. See, it should be known that aside from what was found of Martinez, many other body parts not belonging to him washed ashore in that same location. In fact, this has happened several times over the past year. So you have to ask yourself, is the sudden shock of a missing friend enough to excuse the inaccuracies provided by those who had been camping with Martinez? Maybe. But if so, then maybe there is something unrelatedly sinister targeting those at Cape Lookout. Regarding the disappearance of Enrique Roman Martinez, currently there is a reward of $25,000 for any information that leads to an arrest. So that is enough hard truth for one night. Sadly, I'm sure this time tomorrow there will be plenty more. If you enjoyed the hard truth, please like and subscribe. And if you did not, then you have to ask yourself, why'd you make it this far? Be good to another and stay safe. Until next time.